Welcome to Trading Lounge and the commodities report, starting with Bitcoin. I'm going to have a look at the bearish count and the bullish count, just to be fair. So this would be the bearish count, where we have a rally back up to the 50,000, the 61.8% retracement level, and then move down from that point. And there's a good case for that, because we do have a nice clean 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this, for the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C wave up here. There are other markets, as I've mentioned, that could be the same. This is Solana here, so just on Coinbase, on TradingView. So this is a weekly chart here, and I'd like to know if anybody could fault this particular count actually as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1 and 2 here, and then a nice third wave with 5 waves in it. So the fourth wave here, and then the fifth wave down here with 5 waves in it, which would make wave A at this point, and then an A and a B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C of B, coming back up to wherever, the 62%, whatever, and then wave C down here. Now, I know that's a little bit hard to fathom, because the fundamentals are very strong at this moment with the halving, and also, you know, ETFs coming into the market. I mean, maybe they don't come in, you know, not as they don't come in the first quarter as people expected. I mean, who knows? But anyway, in terms of Elliott Wave, that would be the bearish count. So there's other markets like this as well. It's not isolated, but it's just a clean one that, you know, that can you fault that count? That's the question. Okay, so on the bullish side, let's go to happier times here. So on happier times, we would be looking at, let's just get a bit more data in here for this. So in this case here, we'd be looking at this current low as wave 2, because we'd have to do that because it's at 78.6. You know, it's not, can't be a wave 4 at that point, so it'd have to be a wave 2. So to the upside here, this would be wave 1 and 2 here, and then we'd be looking at 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5. So this would be the 50,000 here. So we would end up consolidating there with a series of wave 4s here, in that 4s and 5s in that particular space here. And of course, at the top here, we would see the market struggle and you know, do its thing, and eventually find that top as support, and then continue to move up at that point. I mean, Bitcoin really, you know, since the 2009, sort of 2008, you know, after the financial crisis when it came out, all the moves to the upside have been, to the downside, you know, have been, you know, they could be 80% drops, you know. So they're all series of 1s and 2s. So the whole Bitcoin is still a baby, and it's still building, you know. That's as simple as that, you know. So this would be, anyway, this would be this. If I go in here and just update us on the intraday count, picking it up from that wave 2 area here. Oh, this is a slightly different count, but from this wave 2 here, or wave B, you know. So the count up here hasn't really moved much. We're looking at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2. So a series of 1s and 2s there. But the last few times that we've spoken, we've really been just looking for the top of wave 3, waiting for this wave 4 to unfold here. The thing here, as I mentioned yesterday as well, this is the current high, and this particular move here is in 3 waves. That's bullish corrective, so that means that top will be taken out. This one here is in 5 waves, so we could look at this as a flat correction, just a regular flat. There's an A and a B and a C wave here, and over the last 2 sessions been counting up as 5 waves here. Then we're looking for the pullback, so we'll be heading higher here. There's going to be a little classic trading levels pattern across the old highs here at 35. So 5 is the second strongest number, and you can see that 5 is pinning this down. Now this will also be like a bit of a loaded spring in here. So once it does find its support here, that should move pretty quickly at that point from 5 to 36.50 at that point, and that will take us up just end up moving up. So between 30,000 and 40,000, we've got Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and then of course we put in group 2 there as well. So 36 is important, but 3650 will be more important. Support in that 36,500, the 65 number, then will be in group 2 at that point, which is important because then it's leaving this number at 35. So I don't see any problems whatsoever being the bearish count or the bullish count being at 40,000. Okay, so all is well for the short term. Be happy. So over to, before we go to the dollar, I just want to go to the treasuries and so on. So here we've got the TLTs. So this is a weekly chart. We're looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 here. I don't think the bonds are finished here just yet. I know I can see this volume coming in here. Very typical at third waves here. This will be all the big boys covering their short positions at this point, and so on. So, but yeah, we need to count 5 waves from here down to here. So I still think we're not even at wave 3, 4, and 5 here. So we're at a minute wave. This would be minor wave 3 here, minor wave 4, minor wave 5. So this would be minute wave 3 here. So this will bottom out when the yields here, if we go to the 10-year yields here, when they top out. So this is the same thing in reverse, basically, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. So between 4 and 5, that's what I was sort of thinking, you know, maybe January, February, March. I was sort of thinking around March, you know, that's always a big financial year, you know. Also, the you know, all the GAN traders will be probably looking at their astrology at that point, but you know, the accounting just really came in on from the farming side point of view, didn't it? You know, from agricultural, so that's where the accounting was set from, you know, to pay for the next crop and all of those sorts of things. So I was going to go to the, so they all tie in together, all the spooky stuff and the practical stuff. So on the daily chart here, from wave 4 here going up to wave 5 here, it's pretty much like this, wave 4 going up to wave 5. So the treasuries will be doing the same as well, you know, I mean the bonds, you know. So we've got from wave 4 here to wave 5, we've got 1, 2, and then we're going up for this wave 3 here, minor wave 3, minor wave 4, and minor wave 5 here. So we've got 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I couldn't figure out here, I mean, I haven't really spent that much time on it, but I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So maybe we got this top in here of minute degree here, minuet, and minute 3 here. I'm not quite sure. It could just drop into this one here. I couldn't quite figure out that little spiky bit in here. Not that concerned about it, but you can see, you know, that we'll be into next year before these top out at this point, you know. So that's where they are. And the dollar, we were looking at this being wave 3, US dollar DXY here. This is just a CFD, but so they've got it to the power of 10. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here to finish this off at this point. This is either going to be wave 2 or B, or will be an A wave here, and then a B wave and a C wave here. So our FX man Malik has got this as an A and a B and a C up here, which are kind of see that working as well. I understand both counts, and I kind of like what Malik has done because it kind of ties in a little bit more with the with the yields, you know. So, but in the meantime, while this is pushing up as 1, 2 and going into the third, well, while this is pushing up here, it's going to place some short-term pressure on gold, and we'll see gold correcting at that point. So let's go in and have a look at gold. We'll do a little bit of a tour as well with a few stocks. I won't go too involved here, but in a bit of a nutshell, this is the weekly chart for US spot gold. So wave 3, ABC for 4, 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here. So you can see that we've got this line straight up here. So we're very close to having that wave 1 in there, and then we need wave 2 to come into play. So it's this wave 2 that will create our buying frenzy, so to speak. On the 1-day chart here, this is what we're looking at. So we've got this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're trying to find the top here, but I have to say it's damn messy, and I can't find it, and I'm not that worried about it, but we're going to talk about it a little bit further. I'm not sure what that's there for, probably some old trade or something. We don't need that. So yeah, we need some sort of pullback in here for this, and this is where a lot of gold stocks are as well, so we'll have a bit of a look at that. So I'm just not quite sure. We go in here and just check on a few things. So this is what we've been looking for here. So I don't need all that, but this is where we need to be over here. We need to be on this side of the fence. We haven't seen. There could be another high here just yet. You know, I'm not quite sure. We'll talk. I want to talk about it. I mean, it's a bit scruffy in here. It doesn't count very nicely as 5 waves. So there could certainly be another little push to the upside with all of this. How much downside have we got with the indicators, even though they can flatline? Yeah, still got a bit more time there. So might break lower. We'll just talk about that for a moment. Let's just go to 1,000 ticks here. And have I been... Okay, this is cool. So we've been counting up here. We've got the low in here. Started counting to the upside here. All good. Just clean some of this mess up. We don't need it all here. Right, so we're close up here. I mean, in a nutshell, I was kind of looking for this particular pattern here. So at the 2000 across here, just pretend that's the 2000. We have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level as wave 1, and then the ABC pattern here that can come deeper. And it's over this side, and in here we start building into, and I'm suggesting gold stocks without any leverage, because it'll be a long-term trend that you'll be in, and if it's all right with futures contracts, you can roll them and so on, but with CFDs you'll be paying any margin account, you'll be paying overnight financing, which compounds at a higher price every day, so it can get very expensive. So basically the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and the ABC. So the thing here is that I just don't know with all of this. It's just a little bit messy. You know, I could say lots of things, but I don't want to say anything if I don't know. But what we can do is take this low and this high here, and we're at 50% here. So this would be, do I have any ABCs here? Yeah, I could just use these. So I could look at this here as some type of ABC correction at this point right here. And that looks like it's pretty much 5 waves down here. So let me just have another little look at that. I have to have a closer look, I think. Because I was going to say that any move below this one here, and then we would be having our wave 2 correction at that point. Do you know what I mean? But as an A and a B and a C, because that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. 1, 2, 3, so it looks like the 4th, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 waves here. That's 1, 2. Well, yeah. Could make another low there. So let me just think about this. I mean, it's such good support there anyway. We're going to get a bounce. I mean, really, we're not ready to go yet. Okay, just not ready. There could quite easily be another high from here, and then going down here. So we're not. I can, even though I don't know the count in here, I can tell you that we're not ready yet. Okay, and I can kind of. I mean, if this drops down here somewhere, right? If that's the case, if it does drop down here somewhere, then we can start looking at this being wave 2. You know, some sort of ABC pattern coming in here. But if we have a look at the way I could sort of prove it, gold. So this is just some CFD on gold. So you can see that that's a pretty much straight line going up there, and you know, it's very strong in the middle and here, and then it's sort of getting weaker and weaker as it comes into the supply area here. So in a nutshell, this hasn't corrected here either yet. You know, it might be that there is a top in place. I don't know. Might be another little high to come in here. I don't know, but we certainly don't have that correction to come in here, right? This is futures contracts here. So same here. We've definitely got some close to having some sort of top in here. But can we have another little move up here? Yeah, sure. But we certainly don't have this ABC pattern here. And it could pull back, you know, could pull back quite deeply. It could be shallow. We don't know that. We just need to count. I mean, as a wave 2 pulling back here, it should be rather simple, you know, as a 1 and 2 here. And this will be one higher degree. I'll just get this. We don't, what are we on? Daily, so we don't need all of this and this. We need minor degree here. So this could be pulling back 60, you know, percent. It could be 78.6. It could be 40%. We don't know, but it should be quite simple. It should be just a zigzag pattern, a 5-3-5 pattern, and we just don't have it on the futures yet. So even though I don't know the little bits in the top here, I can see quite clearly that we are at a top. We are seeing increasing volume on the futures market on the what's the name here. So, and we can see that this third bar in is selling. So we can see that we can see it's under pressure, but we don't have that corrective move yet. And if we just go, I don't know what this is here. What's some gold trust thing? So the same thing here as well for this. So we don't have. I'll just label these why I've got them in here. And this stock here, this is iShares Trust as well. So same here as well. So you can kind of see that we're not ready yet for these. GDX will be also the same as well. So we could put GDX here. It was a bit more developed actually, a bit more. So we could probably use this as a bit of a lead in here. This is already this is definitely turned. Do you know what I mean? And this will be some sort of A, B, and C down here. So this is probably going to lead to the upside. But so we'll keep an eye definitely on that. What's this here? It's just Barrick. Yeah. Well, this is, you know, this is also, you know, one of the big boys. And Newmont, that's US as well. So we could probably look at this one here too in the same light as well. I haven't really studied this chart, so just take this with a pinch of salt, but we're just trying to have a look. This one's fallen out of bed, so we don't need that. It's something weird going on with that. I don't know this company. I don't know this one here. Goldfields on new. Obviously, we've done some work on this, so we're looking for this to top and turn, but we won't buy this just yet either. You know, I mean, I could buy it on the low, could work it out and buy it on the low, but I like to wait for the first little impulse wave to the upside. But we have obviously talked about this, and this would be the A wave here, and the B and the C wave here for this. But yeah, if we don't, I'm just going to remove that actually, because I don't want to lure somebody in until, you know, I need to be sure. This looks like just the A wave here, by the way, so the B wave and the C wave, so there's a bit more to go in there. AEM, so because we said we wanted to have a look at some of these, you know, things, so we'll just, in fact, that shouldn't really be, I mean, that's just not going to be there, is it? This is going to be back up here further. This is a bigger trend happening here, so this will be a smaller wave 1 and 2 in here. Yeah, and WPM, this is another one that we kind of looked at. So we've been waiting for the top here, and, you know, we haven't seen it for a week or so, but it's just done all the right things, you know. So, yeah, not ready to go yet. But as soon as this drops down here, then we can look to go long above that, you know, above that top there for that. Okay, so anyway, getting there. it'll be the same for these Aussie ones here. I know Newcrest is there's a bit of an issue with this one really, but it's still hanging in there as 1 and 2, so it might lead to the upside. What's the name here? West Gold, we talked about going long in this because they had a slightly different pattern. We had this longer term 1 2 1 2 here. So anyway, this is just going to, you know, it's just going to play out at $2 here. It's not going to go anywhere. Don't think you're missing. Don't feel like you're missing anything here at this point. There's going to be some first high above the level here at $2. Northern Star here, same thing. This will be 1 and 2, so I'll keep an eye on this pulling back. This is one's a little bit wobbly. Don't particularly like that one too much. This Gold Road, yeah. So this is good as well. Not the best count, but it's been just slightly different. I mean, I like it a lot because we've got this big, I mean, I like a big correction here, you know, and then this is just wave 1 here and 2 here. So this is the third wave. This third wave here is going to be longer than wave 1 here. So this is, you know, this is good, you know. You're going to have Peter shift and all the red eyes all being excited together. That should be good, so they don't have to bag each other. Anyway, I won't go into this any further. This is also good as well. So that's that. Silver's playing out a little bit differently. I don't quite understand it. I don't know which one to count this down here. I don't know if we should start from this low here on this, and have this as 1 2 here, 1 2 3 4 5 for the third, fourth and fifth, and have this top in here, and then look for an A wave here, an ABC for the B wave, 1 2 3 4 5, and then coming down. So anything below this one here, I can see this one here. Okay, so this is clear. So I can see this is 1 2 3 4 5 here. So any move below here, right? Any move below here, and then I know that we've got wave C of 2 playing out here. If this moves up here from this point, then I can look at this, and gold probably having another high. I can put wave 2 here and put wave 1 over here for this. So 1 2 3 4 5 going up a bit higher. So we'll just see what plays out here. And then we come over to base metals, and with base metals here, we've normally been looking at, normally start with the XME here, and yeah, so we've been, you know, we've got this triangle-y thing happening here, and there's different ways to count this. We could go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. We could go an ABC pattern here, and then 1 2 3 4 and 5 have one more low in here. If I sat on 50 and had the first high above the level here, something here like this, then we would look to go long over here. But otherwise we could certainly just drop from here and then go back up. And this could play out, this could count in different ways here. I understand all of that. So, but I can tell you we're not ready for a long trade in copper, because this copper is kind of mirroring copper a little bit. So that's just not ready on that front. So we're over into iron ore, and this is the Dalian exchange here. So being above here turned this move here as 1 2 here, so we can move this here, and we could look at this in a more bullish light. I'm just going to move these here because I had those as a wave B up there. Could it end up in a wave C in some way? See, the Singapore exchange took this low out here, so it makes it look good, but I'll just try to understand this. I mean, these guys too in China are, you know, they're doing all their buying, they're doing central buying now as well, so it's a little bit different. Where's the, let me just move things across here. Let me come in here. Commodities, this one. See, this is, I mean, you've seen all this before, but so Singapore exchange as an A and a B and a C here is beautiful, and then wave 1 and 2 here. and then moving up through here. So this moving up through here, just getting this here, I just wanted to like confirm things, you know, and we're just about at this space now. So in terms of confirming things, we were looking at, so this wave 2 here. So what I was kind of concerned about in the short term is that this wave 1 up here, this move down here, could also be counted as 5 waves. It just depends how you want to count that spike up there. So looking at this here on the, you know, if we want to be bullish, I have to look at the downside, the negative count, the bearish count. So I could look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here, right? At the same, so that could be the top of the C wave, and then we could come down for 1 here, and then an A and a B and a C wave here at that top there, that little top there. So that's got 5 waves in it here. So if it takes out that top here, that little top there, then it's bullish at that point. It removes this being an A and a B and a C wave here, and then we can look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then we can look at this building to the upside here. So this little move from this low here up to that low there in 5 waves, which we've been looking at. So this is it here, the little 5 waves is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then we're coming down here in some type of correction. So yesterday it fell out of bed here, and we're just sort of looking at it. But if it takes that top out here, right, then iron ore is bullish. And that means that we can look at, we've been looking at Rio, so this is Rio here, so that means we could look at Rio here as an A and a B and a C on the daily chart, 1 ABC for 2 here, up for 1, back for 2, and over here we're looking at this being 5 waves up here. So all we need to do is take this little top out here. If this is going to be an A and a B and a C wave here, to confirm that, we need to take that top out here, because this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2 here, splitting hairs a little bit. So any move above that, then you know, we're pretty good to go at that point, you know. So this, we'll have a look at this. It needs to pull back a little bit further, but if it pops up there, then it's still going to come back again. So I'll just push this to the side. But we're basically preparing for, and the other markets will, you know, come into play at that point as well. I just want to, while we're here in base metals, I just want to have a look at the futures market for copper here. So, you know, we're looking at the futures market's got quite a nice on the daily chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for the wave 1. We could call it wave A2, and then the A, the B, and the C wave coming down here. So it's just sort of waiting to see how this goes. I don't have a nice impulse wave up here just yet, so we'll just see about that. It's not. I'm not ready. It's a little bit too early. It's still too early for that. And this is copper here, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And this is a copper index fund, so this is the bearish count where we can come down further, but we need this wave 4 to play out. So I can't call that just yet, but I understand both sides of it. Uranium, you know, as I've mentioned before, we've got this beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for wave 1, ABC for 2, 1, ABC for 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, you know, we're in a big bullish trend here, right? So all I say is, you know, just buy stock. You know, this is an ETF here, but yeah, you know, we've been looking at this as wave 4. We could have wave 4 here or over here, all that sort of stuff, but looks like it's this pushing up, so it looks like it's good. It's up on higher volume, is it? A little bit, still a bit early to tell, but you know, as I mentioned, buying it at 25 is the place for that. So that's all good there. You know, I recommend that. And then we come over to the energy market, and we'll be looking at crude oil and natural gas. This is the XLE here, and I'm going to look at this a little bit differently, because it's, first of all, we were looking at it as wave 1 up here, and then coming back as an A and a B and a C for wave 2. So I'll keep that there, but I need to, because this top hasn't taken out this top, I need to look at this as an ABC and then an ABC here for the B wave, and then a bigger move down here for this. which is quite possible, which is not really going to affect us at this point. So I'm just going to remove that, and then we come over to crude oil. So crude up here can be wave A, could also be a wave C actually, but yeah, it's a variety of things it can be at this point. So what I do know is that we have 5 waves down here, so we were looking for an ABC correction, so we've worked through that. We've come up to the 61.8%, so that's all good. Bit of a wobbly old count, but we got there in the end. And then this move down through here, I can count it as 5 waves, so I really need to put it as wave 1 here, and then I've had this as wave 2 over here. But as a wave 2 here, it doesn't really look like a nice wave 2. It looks more like a wave 4. So today I was sort of thinking to myself, can I look at this somehow down here as wave 1 here, and then wave 3 down to this point, and then wave 4 to here? It's very clear here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. There might be one more little low coming in here. There might be one more little thing here coming in here, but probably a good buy on the $80 mark here, if that indeed does come down. But we will be pushing up from that point, and there'll be some sort of ABC pattern here. But this is where it plays out, you know, with this particular market here. If I had this as wave 1 up here, this would be the ABC for wave 2 here, and we'll go up from that point. So we've got to keep a bit of an eye on that, and this would be the same thing here, the A, the B and the C wave. We've just nipped out the low here as well. So to have this as an A and a B and a C having a low in here is a bit of a possibility at this point. So all I can tell you in the short term is that we're very close to having a low in place here for this, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to see some sort of movement up through here. If you could spend some time counting this here, I think that's 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, 5. I think there could be one more little low there, but buying it right on this big number here would be a pretty safe bet. And yeah, let's just see, you know, because if this is wave 1 here, and then this is wave 2 here, then we have to look at all of this as wave 1 here, and then wave 2 here. It puts crude in a pretty weak situation at this point. So that would come into this space here. So anything above here, or even if I got 5 waves to the 61.8% of this length here, then I know that we'd be bullish at that point. Okay, but I don't know that yet. I don't know that, you know. I am looking at other stocks and so on, but there just seems to be some weakness there, so I can't confirm any upside, but I'm aware of it. But there will be some sort of bounce off that 80, that old low here. So if you want to sort of buy the bounce and hang in there, I'll do my best to sort of navigate us through this, through the bounce, and we'll need to check it out. Okay, so then we come over to natural gas. This is the natural gas fund, and it's kind of this, you know, it's had all the same swings as natural gas, and we know here that this particular move off the low here is a corrective count. So we've been counting it as a triangle pattern for a wave 4. So an A wave here, a B wave here, and then a C wave up here, but in 3 waves. And then looking at this, we've got wave C here. I could get 3 waves out of this for wave D, or I could put wave D over here, and we could come, you know, down here for that. So an A and a B and a C wave here for this, and then an E wave over here for this, and then down. Or I could put this over to here, and I could put this in here, and I could put this in here, and we've got our E wave at that point, and we go down from that point. So there's a couple of variations that we can use with this. So yeah, I'm just not sure which way to go with this, but natural gas is showing us some upside, so it looks like it wants to push. It looks like this wants to push up here for this. So let's go in and have a look at Put that over there. So natural gas here. I thought we may have had a top in here last time we spoke, just in here, because we've got 5 waves up here. I understood it was a little bit short there, but now we're going to have to move up there, and we're going to have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and going up for 3, 4, 5. So we're going to eventually reach our target by the looks of it. So up here at our 38.2%, so up at $4 for that. So yeah, that's where that is. So we need to look at that as a little wave 1 and 2 here rather than the top. So wave 4 is still in play, and not sure. Let's go to 1000, shall we? I don't think this is the one that we're looking at. No, we weren't using this one, but this is the same thing though. We could just look at this just in the bigger picture before we go to 100 ticks. So we'll have to look at this something like this here to get wave 5 here of this. It'll be like this. But we weren't using that chart. We were using 100 ticks. So I'm going to go over here and get some more data in here. So yeah, my mistake was we had wave 3 here with wave 4 here and looking for wave 5 to the upside. So I was thinking last time that we had wave 5 here, and the reason I thought that too was because I thought we were going to get 5 waves down here. It was starting to look a little bit obvious that we would get 5 waves down here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then 2, and then 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5 here, and then for the 3rd wave, the 4th wave, and the 5th wave, but we just didn't make a new low here. So we're going to look at this as some sort of ABC correction here, and then this move to the upside. So there's also too, I want to talk about this in a couple of different ways here. It's quite possible that do we have any? No, I'll have to create some. Sorry. So it looks like we could look at this in a couple of different ways here. One, just bear with me a moment. I just want to point out the 2 ways that this could play out here. It's quite possible that we could put this as 1 and 2 here, and then look at this as wave 3. I haven't actually pulled this apart, but there could be one more move in here for this. So we could end up with wave 3 here, and then wave 4, and then a smaller wave 5 here to finish off. Do you know what I mean? That it could play out like that. That would be, anyway, that's one way that it could play out. So it kind of diminishes in here, the extensions in wave 1, and then 2 here, and then wave 3 is smaller, and then wave 4, and then wave 5 here coming into this sort of space, something like this, you know. So that's one way it could play out. The other way it could play out is having wave 1 and 2 here, and then stretching itself up a bit, so 1 and 2, and stretching up as 3, 4 here, and then 5 here for this wave 3 here, and then wave 4 would come over here, and then we can look at wave 5 coming in here. So slightly different sort of I'll just remove these out of the way here, we don't need that, and wave 5 coming in up here, so that type of thing, you know. So there's 2 ways that this could play out. But what I could say is that we will be somewhere up at the $4 mark at least. So if you wanted to buy the pullback in this market, then that would be the way to go. So within that, so trying to find a way in is just checking on a few things. That could be the top there. I mean, if this comes down from here and fails from here, then you could put this wave 1 over here, because they're not getting 5 waves here, we're getting, it's like 3 there, so we've got to fill that into that point. So it could be the 1 and the 2 here, and then all of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave here, and that could play into that point. So you could buy a pullback. I suppose one way to look at it is that this is going higher, right? So you could say to yourself, okay then, well, why don't I buy, you know, at every, I could buy at at 35.50 every 50 cents, so to speak. This is a CFD, so this is $3.50, so $3.55, so every 5 cents you could buy some of this at each 5 cents. So a bit of a DCA, dollar cost averaging, and then look to get out at this point up here. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.